What's up, y'all? Ryan Hodge, CEO, BlackFolkHotspots.com, and welcome to episode 3 of Black Business Team BFHS Black Business chat. Anyway, today's one of those days. Been running like crazy this morning. Had some things I had to do. So I'm here, and we're trying to get this rocking and rolling. So I'm running a tad bit late, but what I want to do is I want to get to the bottom. I don't want that. And today we're going to talk about blogging. That's what we want to do. We want to talk about how to blog in a network and for your business to actually help grow your business. And in a little bit, we're going to bring, some people on to, if they show up to actually discuss what has worked for them and why they do it, how they do it, and how it has affected their business. As soon as let me get these, let them come on, broker. Let's see here. Now people should be able to come on. All right. So who do we have? The one thing I'm having the biggest issues with, if you're here, do you see our chat room? You can actually, also, if you like to talk but don't want to have your face on camera, I know a lot of, home businesses, people who are working from home, you work in your pajamas. I did that for years. Matter of fact, some days I still do it. Especially with the women, my makeup's not done, my hair is not done, whatever. You can just hit the little icon in the top middle of the screen and turn your camera off. So if you're here, please, maybe log out, log back in, so that way you can get in on the screen. So hold on one second here. Okay, I'm unmuted, so I think that now this can work here. Should be cooking now with some gasoline. So if you log in, log out, I think that it'll allow you to bring on. But in the meantime, between time, I want to bring up a couple stats I found. And this is something I've been knowing for years and years and years. But blogging, some stats that have been, I forgot exactly who would put these together, where I got this from. But I've had this for a while, and I use this when I'm consulting with with my business owner clients. 81% of online readers trust bloggers. A lot of people don't get that, but a lot of times blogs are written in first person. So you're going to you're coming from a perspective of I. So it's me talking to a group of people. Like right now, it's me, the CEO. I'm talking to a group of people that are watching this or will watch this. That's something that is very, very, very important in the blogging aspect, because you're going to build that trust with your readers. Also, too, I'm just trying to work out some kinks here. I was trying to do this earlier, but I was ripping and running. then had some stuff pop up. So let me see. Go to my videos. I want to look and see, make sure YouTube and everything is going good to go, so we can rock on from there. Where is it? Creative. Gotta go to the live. I just want to check and make sure everything is going right. Good to go, so we can turn it off, see if there's any comments there. Okay. All right, I don't need that. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. So let's get back to the basics. What I try to do is blog about, make sure that I'm blogging. Hey, Shadow, can you hear me? If you can hear me, type in the box on the Google Plus page real quick, and let me know that you can hear me, and if you can get on, so that that way, because I think I had to make it so that, let me see it. Let me. Send some invoice out to. We are live. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna try to do this three times a week for starters. We're going to hit Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And one of the things that, like today, we're going to talk about blogging. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about videos. And Thursday, we're going to, and how to grow your business using video. And then Thursday, we're going to talk about how to grow it using images and flyers and promotional things like that, and events. So that's something that we'll be discussing. But 81% of people, if you knew that, if you think about it, 81% of people trust bloggers. 61% of people make purchases based on blogger recommendations. 63% of consumers are influenced by, influenced to purchase by bloggers, and and 86% of influential people online are bloggers. But people fail to use that blogging platform. They just fail to do it, which I have never understood. A lot of times I tell people, hey, when Black folk hotspots, let's back up here. Let's talk about Black folk hotspots and how what it is that we do. What we are with Black folk hotspots, we're like a social network, a community, a directory for Black business owners and events, right? So if you have like an about me page, you're a part of a big ocean, right? Whereas Black folk hotspots is Black business owners. And a lot of people, I get some flack from Black and white people, about that's racist, or that's separatist and things like that. But one of the things that I was able to do, and I find, when Black Folk Hotspots came to me in a dream in 2008, was to start this, create Black Folk Hotspots. The name and everything was there, and because it was a problem finding Black business owners in the area that I was in. I mean, I shop with everyone, but it's a lot of times I want to shop with people who look like me. Not only that, but I know that it helps grow communities. And sometimes, I was working in an area temporarily, and I wanted to go have a drink after work, and I didn't want to have to go have a drink with people who I worked with. Didn't want to talk shop at shop and then talk shop after shop. And I wanted to go into a place that, I could sit and I can watch the basketball game, have a beer and just talk shit, and feel a little bit like at home, like, around people that would understand what I was trying to say. And then a couple of days later, like I said, I had this dream, and it was like Black Folk Hotspots, events and business owners. And I got started, right? And I think the same thing with blogging. That's the thing that we need to do is to just get started. And I think that's one of the main things that people forget to do. And that's get started, right? We have all these grand ideas, and it's all this information. I call it the information overload, and I'm sure you heard that term before, but it's so many people telling you this and that and this and that. Let's keep it to the basics, right? And that's one of the things that we've done with Black Folk Hotspots, because what we do is, once you create your profile for your business on Black Folk Hotspots, what it allows us to do is have to be able to introduce your business to our network, because we've grown the network to over 250,000 eyeballs around social media and some other areas. And that also have the same idea. They want to know what some urban events are, and they want to know what Black businesses are, when they're traveling. And that's the other thing with a lot of professionals. They're going from, they're traveling, they're going from place to place to place. And you know what? Everybody's not that friendly. And they want to know that if they're in New York, or if they're in DC and they're new there, or in Atlanta or Dallas or Chicago or wherever, where can I go hang out? Number one, that I'm going to be able to make it home safely to, my family, and then people locally. I tell people all the time, people are like, hey, did you, I didn't see you at such a thing. I didn't know about it, right? So if I don't know about it, and I have Black Folk Hotspots, then how many other people don't know about your events? And so when we created this thing, we were able to condense it down. And since then, we got over 2,000 members. And what happens is, when you create your profile, we share that with, our social network. That's on Facebook, that's on Twitter, that's on Instagram, that's on LinkedIn, that's on Google Plus. And then we connect with you on your social media properties, right? That's your Facebook, that's your Instagram, that's your LinkedIn, your YouTube, and what we do is we share those things, because we want to have it a clearinghouse. We want to let people know that you actually exist. And that's one of the biggest things that people, I think that people don't realize. You can get more business if one more person knew about you, right? So same thing as blogging. Blogging is your conversation to the world, right? So if you have 100 blogs, then you just put really and truly 100 sales pitches. And I'm not telling you to blog where it's, a sales pitch all the time. You should blog about your products. Because think about that. What did that stat say? 61% of people make purchases based on a blogger recommendation, and 81% of online readers trust bloggers, right? You think about the bigger blogging companies like companies built on Blogger, like Huffington Post and Copy Blogger and, the Grio and the Root and so many other places. What do? All these things are based on blogs. And I remember when they were just getting started, Politico and all these different companies. Then you had companies these clearinghouse companies like the BuzzFeeds and some of these others that popped up that would share all this additional content. And honestly, that was huge, and a lot of people didn't know exactly what that was, right? And what you were having was, people, they were taking content and they were sharing it around. Um, uh, they were sharing it so that would people would be able to find your content in one general location. Here's Black Folk Hotspots. When you come there, you're gonna find all these different Black business owners that are sharing content, whether it's events, whether it's blogs, whether it's video or flyers and images and things like that. And now they connect with you, or they go connect with you on your social media places to follow you. But the problem is, a lot of you don't uh, are not consistent with your posting to social media. And yes, that can be a problem, right? Another thing is, the reason why you want people to connect with you, and this is something that I stole from when I was in the insurance industry, right? And one of the things that uh, we discussed, and you'll know is true when I say this, was that when people are connected with, when people have two or more of your products, they're more apt to become customers or stay with you long term. So, think State Farm, right? For years and years and years, you knew State Farm as, auto and home, right? So that's why you get a discount for having your auto and your homeowner's insurance or rental insurance, and then they start to venture off in investments and doing some other things. So, and some other insurances, they know they now have a customer for X period of time, right? So let's translate that into the social media sphere, and you have things like, if somebody's following us on our fan page, which is, facebook.com / Black Folk Hotspots, right? And then they also follow us on Twitter at, twitter.com / BFHS Network, which is short for Black Folk Hotspots Network. And they have a profile on blackfolkhotspots.com, and they're following us on Instagram, and they're following us on LinkedIn, and they're subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com / BFHS Network, which is the same thing as Instagram, instagram.com / BFHS Network. When we are sharing something, which is your post, or maybe it's this video, you have a person that's connected to us has a better chance of seeing things, or seeing what we post, or if it's your event that's coming up, or if it's your business blog that you posted. There is now a better chance for a person to see it. You can't beat that, right? Especially when people are complaining and complaining and complaining and talking about hold on, let's see, I'm not getting the video feed, huh? Okay. Wait, let me see something here. Uh, gotta love it. Technology, gotta love it. 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 But anyway, what I'm saying was now these people are connected. They're connected to you, so now you have a better chance. And people talk about how Facebook has tailed back their reach. Okay, so and tail back their reach of reaching their audience. So when you make a post and say you got 1,000 people who have liked your page, the standard was about 7 or 8 people who was actually, 7 to 8% was actually seeing those posts. Now it's tailed back and people are starting to see the decline. And that's fine. I mean, not saying that's fine. I take that back. That's actually it's kind of messed up, right? It's something that that I don't like. I feel it's like a form of extortion because our likes, and we got like 45,000. Our likes, we grew it organically. We didn't spend much in advertising, this, that, and the other. Basically, the only thing that we did is advertising so that we can kind of see how it worked well, right? So that we can actually help other business owners advertise their businesses, right? That's what we did. And so just checking any messages I might have too on the phone. But that's something that we had done to check that out, and it worked pretty well. So I wonder if my phone. Anybody know if my phone will allow me, if I can log into? That would be cool too. But anyway, and so, but if you have those people if the people follow you on Twitter, because if you're posting a link to your blog on your Facebook page, on your Twitter page, on your LinkedIn page, maybe do a video about it on YouTube. Now you have more chance of people seeing your content and coming back to your page, right? Coming back to your website, because the whole goal is to get people to your website. Like in the blogging side of things you should blog about, right? You should blog about your business. There are some questions that people always ask you. There are some questions that they always ask, as far as about your business. So, I would start with frequently asked questions, right? Like top 10 questions that are always that are asked of Black folk hotspots, right? And put that in a list post, or if it's just one question you get all the time. Hold on a sec here. Let me see. I got a question. Oh, hold on a sec. Let me see something. Let me see here. Let me try. I'm trying to invite somebody here. We're gonna get this. That's why I wanted to work out the kinks. We're gonna eventually work them all out. We're gonna eventually work them all out, and we're gonna be perfect. Let me try that. Trying to got a person to bring on. Okay. I think that may work. Let's. I think that works. Okay, so we'll see. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. People saying that they can't join, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll work out these kinks. Maybe I'll try some stuff later. Since this is just episode 3, just bear with us. You know, it's sort of like the pilots of like Blackish and things like that. People are like, Blackish sucks. You know, but they also say the same. The pilot. If you go back and look at the very first episodes of Fresh Prince, or Cosby Show, or Different World, yeah, they were horrible. But we got to just give it time. We're gonna be all right. But anyway, once you have those people connected, obviously, yeah, you're in business. You're in business to sell stuff, right? Whatever it may be, if it's your music, if it's, if you do events or Friday nights at a club, or, whether it's California, New York, people, and that's the other thing too. People always Googling so they can find your blog, and Google crawls. They like fresh content. And that's another thing that blogs provide, fresh content, right? So Google constantly crawling. Now, there's also a thing called authority and things like that. So that's the reason why you want to have a profile on blackfolkhotspots.com, right? Number one, by having that, you have a little bit more you're gonna have a chance for Google to crawl your website more, right? Or more times, more frequently. People ask, how often should I blog? Once a week, once a month, once every 2 weeks. You know what? I always tell people, when you're starting out and you want to attract people, you should be blogging every day, right? And even if you're not blogging every day, what you should be doing is you should be at least microblogging. Now, what is microblogging? Say you see a great article, top 10 reasons to blog, right? You want to share that with your audience because, your thing is about marketing, this, that, and the other. That's great, right? But what you want to do is, but you don't have time to write out a whole 500, 700, 800, 1,000, 1,200 word blog for that day. You can, copy some of those posts, those reasons, top 10 reasons to blog, whatever. Add your 2 cents to it, right? And give a conclusion, and then provide a link or track back, whatever you call it, to the original author. So the original author gets notified, possibility, and then your readers can follow that original source, and they can actually go and find other information that original article presented. So I know I would be happy with that. Plus, it's when you know how the web works, and uh, it works like a spider web. Um, why is somebody calling me? Come on, come on, come on, Shadow. Why you calling me, big guy? Um, I know he's having some issues, and you know what? This is probably going to be one of those days that I'm actually. Uh, fully. Yeah, so we'll work that out for tomorrow. Um, and so that's one of the things that um, that it attracts. Even this video. I mean, the person looking at the video, oh, this video's whack or whatever, right? That's fine. Some people are gonna look above the technical issues, and they're going to say, it makes a lot of sense, because you're going to create your profile. Tell us about your business. And then we ask other couple of questions like, why did you start your business? What made you go into that niche? What's your favorite quote? I'm a big quote fan. One of my favorite quotes of all time is Zig Ziglar: if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything in life that you want. So when I look at things and realize that I'm not exactly where I want to be in life, hitting those goals, right? I always know that I haven't helped enough people get where they want. So the goal is to help more people, and that keeps me going. Um, so that's just it. So you in order to get more business, you want to reach more people, right? And blogging is a great way to do it. It really is. I mean, um, I say, blog every day. You got to have something fresh every single day, because you want to get people coming back and back and back. And you want to get people to getting used to you um, blogging. Then maybe once you get it, you could tell it back and do, once every 2 or 3 days, or once a week, or this, that, and the other. And then you can start, reaching out to people to do guest blogs and, on your site. And another thing is, you could take those blogs too, and you post them on Black Folk Hotspots. We're going to share, but, always make sure that you provide a link back to your website at the end of the blog, so that people can click and they can go see what else you got. If you got an event coming up, you want to blog about it. If you got to, learn how to write something up in press release form. That's another form of blogging. That's huge. Those things are going to help your business grow. I guarantee it. Right? You may not seem like you're getting much traffic, at first, but once you keep going and going and going, it's all about consistency. It's all consistency. Doing the same things every day, and this is not insanity, right? You want to do the same things. You want to keep doing this, and that way people begin to follow you. Sort of like, McDonald's, and we could talk about this until forever, right? There's a group of you guys, group of people who hate McDonald's, and you know what? I'm pretty sure that that you and I can make a better hamburger than McDonald's, right? More people pass by McDonald's than go in on a daily basis, but they still sold over 1 billion burgers, right? Because somebody's going to go in. And um, by doing that, that's one of the things that, um, hold on a second, what is this here? Oh, yes, you're trying. I did that. This is, yeah, I provided that. I'm gonna provide it to you again. That's the link. That's in there. Straight up. I wonder what happens when I click it. So I'm just going to see some now because I'm just running something. But people have. Let me see. Anyway, I don't know. I'm all confused here. I'll figure this out. Looks like I'm gonna have to. This is this is brutal. You know, I didn't do none of this before. So it's frustrating. Technology, can't live with it, can't live without it. But anyway, right now. Hold on a second here. I don't know. Trying to do a million things. Okay. Okay, so that's the thing. But consistency with McDonald's, right? You know that a number one in New York City or Chicago and Atlanta is going to be the same number one in LA or Dallas or Houston, right? And you know that you're going to get the same, maybe not so you know, the same burger. It's going to be made the same way. Same things with White Castle or Wendy's or Burger King because they developed a system and they're consistent in what they do. It's not gonna be much change, and that's why you need to blog more and more and more and more and more because you're gonna get the same doggone thing. And those are the things that people we must understand. We must. And as we blog more and more and more and more, you'll start to see the traffic. It may be like one person viewing it. It may be no people viewing it, but then you start sharing it around, and then it'll be no people, right? And then it'll be one person, then it'll be two people. And one thing that I've always known is when you're dealing with business and you're dealing with the internet, you need to look at things not on a not on a singular, um, uh, but you need to start thinking exponentially because 2 becomes 4 and 4 becomes 8 and 8 becomes um, 16 and then 16 becomes 32 and then 64 and then 128 then 240 uh, 256 and then 512 and then 1024 and 2048. You look at that, and that's just a short period of time. So if you're starting to blog every day, it's going to grow. It's the same thing when you hear that concept of, would you rather have a penny a day or a penny a day doubled? Would you have like, $10,000 right now or a penny a day doubled or 30,000, something like that. That's very, very, very important. But anyway, I'm going to end this very soon. I want to let you guys know, if you like to wear support Black business shirts, and it's not just for Black people, right? There's been a number of other than Black people who have bought shirts because supporting Black business is not just about Black people, right? it's about supporting Black businesses, because in order to grow, when I look at things, I look at, if you look at the scale, when I was in management, right, one of the things that I focused on in management was my team. Number one, I knew that 20% of my team was going to bring 80% of my growth or my revenue, right? And one thing that I didn't do was I didn't, so I was, that 20%, they were pretty much self-checked. So I worked on building up the next 20%, and then the next 20%, and then the next 20%. Now we got a team of 100% just rocking and rolling. Still 20% is going to bring in the most. So it's going to be like top heavy. The other thing is to concentrate. So when you look at the economy, when you look at, Black communities, white communities, Jewish communities, white and Jewish, whatever. When you look at the different communities, when you look at the income breakdown of, Blacks, Hispanics, Asians, whites, right? You look at the median incomes and you see, Black people at the bottom. But then you wonder why, there's a high crime rate, right, in the Black community. And people are like, oh, we need to solve that high crime rate. I'm telling you, it's all economics, right? If I don't feel as though I'm afforded the chances that I am, and I'm just not that person, but there's a select group of people who choose to do certain things in a certain way because they feel like they want to have a decent living too, right? And they're willing to risk certain things like their freedom, or maybe they want to go out and sell dope. Not one. I don't know nobody that grew up and say, hey, when I grew up, I want to be a dope dealer. No, they look at situations and they want to get out. And I'm not advocating selling drugs or robbing or sticking up people. But when you put people in a situation where they don't see any end, they liable to do anything. Case in point, you remember that movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd? Remember that $1 bet they made? And then how, Eddie Murphy's character, became this different person, right? And then Dan Aykroyd's person was that person who was out robbing and stealing. When you take away those dollars and people don't see a way, they have to do what they want to do. And if they need to feed their families, they're going to do it, And so if you help build the Black community and support, the Black community, because what happens is there's a lot of businesses that's inside, the Black communities, say the gas station, the grocery stores, things like that, right? And that money is not staying in the community. And that's the only way a community can thrive, is to have money being recycled. And the dollar's not recycling in the Black community as it is in, white and Asian, Hispanic communities. So, that's something that's huge. And it doesn't hurt to support a Black business, to support a Black business owner, to do these things. It doesn't hurt. It's not going to hurt a white business where these people start running scared. Like the people who hit me up on the page. That's the most racist thing I've ever seen in my life. No, it's not. Black people can't be racist. What race we running, right? Well, we are running a race, but we're way, way, way behind, right? Come on. It's time where if, most business owners typically open businesses in the communities they lay their heads in. And when you see the thriving communities, it's because it's a lot of support in that community. From school systems to business owners to the churches, everybody's kind of working like a, find a well-oiled machine. But then you have the people, and like Dame Dash call them the culture vultures, right? And I ain't lying, that's a great term. I call them bloodsuckers, because you got people that's opening up businesses that we need, to a certain extent, and we're buying from them, but they live in, 30 miles outside the city. So when we spend their money with them, buy their gas or, shop at their stores or whatever, they're taking that money back to the communities that they lay their heads in at night. You know, the same thing with jobs and economic growth. When you look at the jobs, you know, I'm sick of seeing, oh, you know, the unemployment rate is the lowest it's ever been. Is like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7%. Well, what is it with black people? And I say black people versus African American. Number one, I've never called myself African American ever. I mean, I guess I am, but at the end of the day, I think that's kind of like a slap in the face, you know, to people who actually are African, you know, like African that come to America, right? So, yeah, I gave you this link already. So that's something that we need to look at, right? Because people tend to hire, you know, people who they more relate to. And let's not get it twisted. You know, I worked with hey hey hold on. Can I unmute you? Hold on, let me see something. Um yeah, there we go. Let's show you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. You know what? I was giving you those links.
It wasn't. It's Google. They change something every time, it seems like. So you're good.
I'm sitting there. You know what? Maybe if you watch this video back, you're gonna be like, this is the worst dude.
I was watching the whole time.
I'm like, I'm frustrated. I'm trying to be like, oh, I'm trying. I got my man Shadow. He didn't call me like 10 times. I was almost gonna put him on speakerphone, let him talk.
It's okay.
Rhonda, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Unbelievable. You know, yeah, this was about the.
You did very well. You touched on some great topics that I was going to mention, so you were handling everything very well.
You know, it's funny. This is something that, you know, and I try to tell people this, you know, people who will listen. I'm like, I'm not the I know I've been around the internet forever. Like, you know, I ran to one of my buddies, and that's why I was running late, because I usually try to have everything set up, and I was running late because, you know, people, they'll call me and they're like, this is the most social dude. But I was talking to one of my buddies, Chris. I had stopped at his shop, his auto parts shop. And then he was like, hey, man, you want some coffee? So, you know, that kept me there even longer. But I was like, man, I got to go. I got 11:30. I got 11:30 meeting. I got to roll, because, you know, you don't look at the time. But he was like, you know, he called me Geo. So, which means that he's been knowing me for, as far as the internet goes, for a long time. Because, you know, I go by GI operation. That's what I've always gone by on the internet. But, you know, we were talking about this video I posted yesterday on Facebook, and because I guess being in business, you gotta take some knocks upside your head and this, that, and the other from time to time, from people who are either jealous or, you know, something don't go right. Like hypothetically speaking, you are a member of Black Folk Hotspots, and you may post an event, and you did post an event, and that we didn't, you know, but it was like happening like right there, right? You know, and I try to tell people that most times you didn't plan your event today, and it's not happening today. Now, there's emergency meetings and things like that, or things that's happening right away, which means that, but it's 2,000 people. So how do you, I mean, what if there's 30 events? Now, I'm not gonna flood people, and I don't. I'm a SEO person. I know SEO. So, did you mute yourself?
Yes, because I'm sitting in a corner in a hotel room and
Oh, okay.
music is playing and they're making noise, so
Okay.
I can unmute myself and come back in.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't do it.
Okay.
But anyway, and I was telling, I was like, man, I was selling on Amazon in '98. So if you go back and look when Amazon was created, you'll be like, wait a minute, Amazon was around that time? And I moved from the Amazon platform. I was selling books, used books. I was going to the thrift stores buying 10 books for $1 on Mondays, never forget, and getting like $10 worth and listing them on Amazon, and that cash registers were ringing. And then I was introduced to eBay the next year. And if you look at when eBay was created, you'd be like, damn, eBay was only around like a year or two. You were like ahead of the curve. And I was having success. For instance, in 2001, I made $60,000 on eBay. And what got me to all of this internet stuff was me, I'm like, wait a minute. If I made $60,000 just on not knowing nothing, right? Just, trial and error. What if I can learn some more stuff from other people who are making, eBay used to have this thing like, their top producer, they would have these little groups, and they would talk about these different things, and I'm like, so let me read up on this. How did this person become $1 million? It was this one company that they called 1 cent CDs. I don't know if they're still around. Probably, maybe not. And they start all their auctions off at a penny. They were all CDs. And the guy's story was he was a executive with some, Fortune 500 company, and he was a big, huge music fan, and he had all these CDs, and he lost his job. And he started listing some of the CDs that, he didn't want just to earn some money. He listed them at a penny and let people bid it out. And before long, you had CDs going for $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, and some was even more because they were hard to get, and this, that, and the other. So I'm learning these things from listening to his story. So then I start buying courses and getting consultations from these big people, because back in the day we really was getting that spam. A lot of spam, and some of the stuff was good and some of it was bad. But it was always just a little bit information they would give you. And I spent, tens of thousands of dollars on this stuff, right? And then I'd be like, they'd be like, 500 here, 1,000 here, this, that, and the other. And then you realize that in order to get the real stuff, you had to pay the person $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000. I ain't have it. Mm-hmm. And then I learned, and I said, wait a minute. If I get a little bit from him, and a little bit from him, a little bit from him, and a little bit from him, they all saying the same thing, but different way. I can piece it together. And over time, that's when I got into the SEO and this, that, and the other. And I started creating blogs. But make a long story short, I went back to work because I was bored. $60,000, sitting in front of a computer, not doing anything, was able to be at home with my daughter when she was born in 2000. She had never seen me leave the house to go punch a clock for anybody else.
That's awesome.
And as a matter of fact, we laugh about it because she was sitting in my lap on my left leg, and I'll be like, hey, you're going to be working on this computer pretty soon, and this is what you do. I knew she didn't understand. She was freaking like 3 months. Blah, 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 blah. No, but you got to F5 to refresh, and you got to do this, you got to do this. And I was teaching her, right? And make a long story, make it a little bit shorter, but she's really into technology now. Like, she'd be like, Poppy, we don't do Apple. But she did go buy a Apple computer, which, she told me about it. She was like, Poppy, I'm telling you, it's the best computer out there. I would not get an iPhone or a tablet Apple, but that computer, oh my God. She's like, we technical. We like technical stuff. But I'm like, you were right there on my lap, and there's pictures of her where mom had taken pictures of us. But as I grew, and I went back to work, because I needed to be around people. Because had I had that mentor, and in our community, I tell people, I was the first one that most people know that had a computer at home. Mm-hmm. And, and it's just like me. Like, if I moved to your city, Nashville or whatever, or the first thing I would do is I would get in my car and I would go get lost.
Mm-hmm.
And figure my way, okay, this street goes, this street goes, this. And that's what I would do. And I did the same thing with the internet. And but the one thing that I was still learning, I was still reading about stuff while I was working because, I just wasn't making the money on eBay anymore. I wasn't selling too many things anymore. I kind of pulled a lot of stuff down because I got, so many times it's just haters everywhere. People report your posts, this book, this, that, and the other. I'm like, this is crazy. And then you got 1,000 listings, and next thing you know, you go and everything's done. And I realized something. It's their ball. They can play it the same way they want to play it. And so then I stumbled across, it was all on the web. And it was a 16-week course on blogging. It was called Blogging to Success or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's name was Jack. Matter of fact, we Facebook friends. This was probably like 05, 06. And he did all this, and he did this whole course for free. And he always said, I'm going to have an offer at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And even the offer was something that was doable about just about anybody. But he gave away so many secrets and not secrets, but so many different tidbits and nuggets. And I took the course twice, right? And he was on to memberships.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about that. And, and I'm like, memberships. Memberships, okay. That residual money. And so anyway, that kind of led me into some things, and it kind of tied a lot of stuff that I knew, that I picked up, and it tied a lot of stuff together. And so when MySpace was jumping off, by that time I had left the car business and I went back into the mortgage industry, and I was using blogging to get mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
Get people, and my manager was like, called me in the office one day. He's like, my branch manager. He's like, Ryan, you know what? Ty has been on my ass all day long. You're not making a phone because they want us to make 100 outgoing phone calls a day. He's like, you're not making your phone calls. We're buying these leads, and you're not doing this, and you're not doing that. And I looked at him. And I said, Terrence, look at my numbers for the last few months. Am I hitting my quota? Am I hitting my goal? You seen any slacking? He was like, no. I said, he's like, and matter of fact, I'm kind of wondering how you doing that. And I said, dude, I've been blogging on MySpace for months. And it was stuff like how to find a loan officer, how to figure out this, how to do this. Now, what happened is I entered this black blogging community, and you had people that was blogging about drunk blogs and, male-female relationships and beefs and all this stuff that, it's cool, and it's, pop culture, stuff that people like, to a certain extent, or they wouldn't be watching Housewives of America and all these other stuff nowadays. It's just a drama stuff. And it was interesting, because you need that difference, I believe. And and a lot of people, they wasn't looking at the stuff that I was blogging about. They was looking at it, but they wasn't really paying attention. I think people were a little bit younger to a certain extent, because now a lot of those same guys are like, dude, I was blogging about the rule of 72, right? Like how long does it take your money to double? I'm trying to teach people, hey, let's grow some wealth, right? But they wasn't ready yet, and I knew that, but I wasn't talking to them at that time. And he looked at my inbox. He was like, my God, dude, it is people saying, call me, I want to refinance my home. Call me, I want to buy a house, because MySpace had the best targeting of any, so you can target, like I did loans solely in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I can target all Indiana zip codes. I would go into Google the highest median incomes for houses in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Get the zip codes.
Mm-hmm.
Go on MySpace, put those zip codes in, right? Do married, single, kids, just because they had all that stuff in the back office of MySpace. I don't know if you know that or not. And, and I would friend request those people, and now they would be reading my blogs, or maybe they didn't ever accept my friend request, but my blogs were public so they could still read it, and they would say, oh, this is what this dude talk about. And that's how I built that business. And so I knew right then the blogging, and then my manager, once I showed it to him, he was like, dude, can we get everybody in the office blogging? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but people would tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, it's all about finding your niche, right? You marketing, and everybody is marketing to no one. So you can't target everyone. So you had already figured out that there's a way where I can just target people who are interested in what I have versus you going out and, going out into the masses. You honed in on who was interested in what you had to offer, and that's who you needed to talk to. No need to waste time talking to everybody else that wasn't ready, wasn't interested in what you had. So you had already figured that out, and that's all blogging is about now, and that's why you're having these people making millions online, working from home, just 2 or 3 hours a day.
Right. When you look at it, when you go back and start to look, and I tell people, they don't even know. I'm like copy blogger, Huffington Post, Politico, New York Times.
Everyone has a blog.
TechCrunch. Mm-hmm. TechCrunch is a blog. Huffington Post is a blog. It was all built on WordPress. And all those people came about in the early 2000s, the same around the time when I was just figuring this out. But I always say, as a black person, and when I take the heat on, why are you only singling out black people? Because you know what? Certain things we just don't know and we don't learn in our communities.
Yeah. And we learn it 10, 15 years later.
Exactly.
And they've already moved on to the next best thing that's coming on. So
exactly. We behind the eight ball. And I said, I got this knowledge. I didn't have anybody I knew that could teach me this stuff. I was the one trying to teach it. So I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, and it's about, I want to say 2010, 11, 12, all those years. I met with Google people like 3 or 4 times. And I remember the first time. And it wasn't on a technical tip. Well, it was. They had this AdSense thing, because that was the thing. You could blog and you can pick things, and you can add the Google AdSense and get some dollars, right? And that's when affiliate marketing started to hit the not hit the scene. It had already been around. I was just now finding out about it. And so I went to this AdSense meeting with Google, and they was like, well, can we take a look at your website? And I was like, here. And because they were going to give me some tips on how to maximize the revenue. And so you're looking at it, and then the lady looks at me and she says, what? How did you come up with this? What? Black folk hotspots. Because Black folk hotspots was in a blog back then. Mm-hmm. But it got so big that I started getting requests for people wanting me to put their businesses up from all over the country. And I was still working in corporate America. I couldn't afford all. I didn't have enough time. So that's when I created the network in 2010, because it allowed you to be able to post your own stuff, and then allowed us to do what we were good at. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and I told her, she's like, wow, this is the coolest shit ever. Right? She's like, can I interview you on camera? So somewhere around the lines, there's an interview with me talking about Black folk hotspots in like 09 or 10 with Google. And then they started inviting me to other things. And, in the course of time, I've met with, and I always tell people, when you become an authority, and that's the other thing that blogs allow you to do, it allows you to become an authority in your niche. Mm-hmm. And when you become an authority, people come to you to ask questions. But when they come to you, here's your opportunity to say maybe what you need. From them. And that's what I did with Google. I said, wait a minute, I was pretty good with SEO and this, that, and the other. It was getting a lot of traffic. And I said, can you teach me a little bit more how your search works? And, some of them be like, oh, no. But then they'll be like, hey, this, or they'll say, ask some questions and we'll confirm or deny. You know what I mean? And that's how I was able to do these things. And I was like, yeah, that's what happens when you're an authority in a niche. Mm-hmm. And this guy was like, so then another partner of mine, at that time, he was out in Seattle, and he was thinking about, he was also on MySpace. He was one of those bloggers, and he was like, Ryan, I've been checking out your stuff, man, and I see the stuff that you're talking about. It's like, I'm thinking about doing this, taking this relationship stuff that I'm talking about and all these other people, and I want to create a network. And I'm like, dude, you should. I'm telling you. Relationships, number one, hot topics, right? They're argumentative, they're debatable, and it's going to keep an audience. And you can get advertising for revenue for the site. You don't have, people can come in and check it out. And I said, the one thing I'm going to tell you that you need is you need to get some people, define your niche into the relationship. And it was going to come from the male's perspective, which at the time we didn't really have many of. And I tell people, Steven Speaks and all these other cats that's doing all these little talk circuits, they were not even around then. Mm-hmm. I remember when some of them joined Black Folk Hotspots. They didn't have no followings, like not big. They were just getting into it. And so he reached out to a couple of guys, and this guy that I made this video, he said I was trying to rip people off. I said, dude, number one, I was just advising him on some things, and I told him to reach out to you because I respected you in that community, and whether or not I agree with everything you wrote, I knew that some people did, some people didn't, and controversy, I'm sorry, it sells.
Right.
So you would have been a great asset. You could have been like the Stephen A. Smith on relationships, right? People would love to hate you. And, and I told my other guy, I said, hey, offer him he didn't have the money to go out and say, I'm going to pay you $100 per blog or $300 per blog. No, we're going to split this revenue as we grow. But as black people, we so quick to want all this big stuff. And this guy was like, oh, the Washington Post, pay me this and this, that, and the other. And I said, and I actually hit him up personally, and I said, dude, you're missing out on a good opportunity, something that's going to blow up. And if you do it right, you play your cards right, this can be something that's gobbled up by a bigger company, like the Grill, what I mean? They were just a blog, and then, I think that was the one that MSNBC bought or whatever, NBC. I was like, dude, you don't know what's coming. Huffington Post are buying up people. The people who bought Black Voices. You don't know. So you get in and y'all splitting the revenue equally, or maybe not equally, because he's putting up a bill and he's giving you a certain percentage. I said, somebody come and offer him $10 million next week, and he say, okay, here you go, dog. Thanks. Here's $500,000. But you worried about $5 right now. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I don't know. I'm confused because I thought when you talked, I should be seeing the bigger picture of yours.
You can. You click on my picture.
But you know what? It was when I was doing this the other day. It was flip flop. So when you talk, your picture
it does when I talk, and then it'll go back and forth.
Okay, but it's not doing that for me.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Because I want to put your thing here. We got Rhonda Hines, my monthly 10kformula.com. I checked out your webinar thing the other day.
Okay, I don't know which one.
It was the one with the Empire dude.
Okay.
Let me tell you something about that. I saw that years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the one thing that set me back, because I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I said, this dude ain't doing nothing but teaching people how to blog for their businesses. Mm-hmm. And I was like, a person would be a damn fool not to put up at least $25 to join this, blog about your own damn business, and he's going to teach you certain things. That's what I thought. That was my same thought process. But one of the things I didn't think, and maybe it was my fault, but I didn't think, and I never talked about it because I'm not a person that's going to talk bad about anything. If you ever hear me, I'm going to be like, that's a great idea. Because some of the dumbest ideas become the biggest $1 million ideas. Who would have thought a fart app would gross millions and millions of dollars, right? It's like, dude, a fart app do like a whoopee cushion? Are you serious?
Right.
You know what I mean? But anyway, and I actually, one of the guys that made that, I think that was Joel Comm. I learned a lot from him. He is a great person too. But I thought Empower was going to go out of business.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I thought that was because Facebook was stripping all their links.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long you've been with them, but I've literally watched the one chick in, I think she might be in Tennessee, and I think she might have moved to Georgia. I remember watching her when she bought her Maserati, and it was all Empire.
Oh, Tracy, she's one of my mentors. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and I love that energy. I love the energy, and then it kind of it kind of scared me a little bit, that the fact that they were like in Venezuela somewhere, or or the head dudes, they were like out the country.
Oh, Costa Rica,
where the laws are a little bit more lenient and this and that. I know Costa Rica looks good and it's fun,
but the business is in Florida.
And so it was a lot of here and there. So I was just like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was something new, right? It was something new, a whole new concept, that 100% commission. How can a company survive on 100% commission? Well, it was a learning process, like with anything new. So, Facebook, they do that to all affiliate links now. They don't want people selling affiliates. So, it's just technology, and figured out a way to get around it.
Right, because I was afraid. I'm telling you, that was my biggest thing. I was like, that, because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, that kills everything that I would want to do to promote it.
Right.
I'm like,
so now 3 years later, we have over 18 millionaires in 17, 18 millionaires in the Empower Network. Tracy being one of them, just got, So
I watched, what's her name story? Tracy, Terry Clay.
Oh, Terry, yeah.
Her story where she was homeless or something like that, and she started with Empower. I've been trying to get her on Black Folk Hotspots. I'm like, look, because here's the thing. I look at network marketing. My first venture into network marketing was Amway. Mm-hmm. And, I tell people all the time, I made money. I got a check from Amway. Unlike a lot of people, right? The thing with Amway at the time, here's another thing. The thing with Amway at the time, when I joined, it was like 97, 96, something like that.
And they were already, 30 years old?
Yeah. But I was single. I didn't have any kids. I didn't, no wife, this and that. So all my friends were single, right? I was in my 25, 26, 27. And I said to my upline, which was a doctor, Dr. Streeter. He was an orthopedic surgeon. And I said to Doc, Doc, if they could take this catalog and put this catalog online, now you can, because I was in the Air Force, so I know a lot of people around the country, and this and that. Like, I could just send links, I could just email them, right, and then they can purchase these products, and I can do these kitchen tables and tell them, hey, you know what? If you spend X amount of dollars on you a month, and you teach 8 to 10 other people to spend the same amount of money on the same things you're already going to be buying, it works. It's not telling you got to go spend $10,000 a month, this and that. Just buy this crap that you need. And honestly, you can buy the 3 main products that are awesome: the toilet paper, the dishwashing detergent, and the laundry soap. You know what I mean? Because I swear to God, I've never had toilet paper that was that good ever. People laugh. They do the same. They laugh just like that. I mean, to me,
because I've used it, so I know what you're talking about.
It was the greatest thing ever. The thing is, it came in a box. Like, I have, of like 195 rows, or maybe 3,000, and it took me a year personally to use that. But if I had a family of 5, because we go through, in this house now, we go through toilet paper like crazy.
Yeah, should have stock in it.
But they looked at me like I was, like they had saw a ghost. They didn't know. They didn't really get the internet at the time. And so, but the one thing that I got out of that And I went to some of the meetings and this and the other. The one big thing that I got out was um, was that's the first time I read Think and Grow Rich.
Very good, big on personal development, and that's where the founders and I don't want to. Maybe we can come back and do a part two on this since it
Oh
took a
yeah.
while for me to get online because I do have a meeting in 15
Okay.
minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, the founder of Empower took what he got from Amway and his leaders and things. They're very big on personal development and wanted to empower people the same way. So hence Empower Network. So that's where he got, and I know that's where you were going on that, listening to the tapes and the audios and everything like that. And so, yeah, we're here 3 years later when a lot of people thought Empower wouldn't be around, and now all want in. But unlike some of those other companies where, they try to buy their way in, that's not going to happen. They got to do it like everybody else. So.
So tell me a little bit, since you got a few minutes to go. Tell me more, and plus 1 o'clock we're just gonna wrap. Tell me about how people can connect with you and get with it, because I don't know if Empower is the only thing that you do, but I like it. I mean, I thought it's the greatest thing, especially for a person that don't know nothing about blogging. Hell, if you spit, is it still $25 a month to start?
Yes.
Because I saw a thing that said $7 or something. Was it just a special?
Well, right now, we just went to an awesome new viral blogging platform. Like I said, it's evolving because technology evolves every day. And so just to give people a sneak peek at what it is that they get when they come in Empower Network is $7 or $9 now, I'm not sure, for a week. But I encourage people to get in and dig into everything that it offers and get serious. Don't just because it's only $7 and $9 not take it seriously. Because like I just mentioned, we got 17 millionaires now and it all started from a $25 blogging platform that you can use to promote any business that you want, and that's what we teach you how to do once you become part of the community. And you touched on that already. You made some very good points. It doesn't matter what you do, what your passion is, what your hobby is, what your interest is. If there's a platform out there, then you blog about it, and we teach you how to attract people to your blog, get the leads, and if you have a product that you want to put on your blog as well, because maybe you're just talking about relationships, and you don't have a product, but the only way we can survive is to make some money. So if you have a product that you want to put on that blog, we teach you how to do that, still talking about your passion or relationships. Maybe you have an ebook or a book that you write or something. We teach you how to market that in your niche and just reach people. It's unlimited on the knowledge that Empower offers, and they truly empower people. We are empowering legacies. It's not just about you right now. This is about empowering legacies, mindset, growth, and money. It's kind of like the bait and switch, if I want to say that. It's more a personal development company with a business opportunity tied to it.
Right, and that's what I got out of it. And it's funny that I saw it, and I almost, and I swear I wanted to do it for the community. I swear I did. But I didn't. But once I started looking, I was like, because I always try to make sure that it's, because people come to me with all these different ideas weekly, daily. Oh, you got all these people. You got 250,000 people. You got 2,000 people on the network, and this you can make so much money. I know I can make so much money. But that is not my goal. If it's not going to benefit the community, I don't want to put anything out there when they go, man, that I don't want to be like the dude that led everybody to Bernie Madoff.
Well, this is if you think about franchises, this is the franchise of the online marketing world. You mentioned earlier when I was trying to get on that how many different places that you had to go to get the knowledge that you got, and you drop money here, you there, and that's what this was developed for people to get everything that they needed in one central location, like a franchise. When you join a franchise, You just have to, you might have to have $500,000, $1 million to get involved with the franchise. But you know that the system works. You know that McDonald's work. You know that Burger King work because they've done it. They've proven it. They have the system. You just buy into it, and they say, hey, follow this system step by step, and you will see a return on your investment in about 5 or 6 years. You know, right. And so this is kind of like the online marketing franchise system, where everything that works, how people are having success, is right here. Everything that you need is right here, so you don't have to go everywhere else to find out how to do something, how to blog, how to market it, how to attract people to your blog. You know, it's all in, you know, what to write about, how to do copywriting. Everything is in this entire system.
So how can people find out more information about Rhonda Hines and what you're doing with Empower or whatever else? What should they do?
Oh, well, right here you can go to my monthly www.mymonthly10kformula.com. You got to put 10kformula.com or freeyourselves.com, and it's going to take you. And this is the wonderful thing about it. A lot of people don't like to. I've been in several MLM companies, and a lot of people don't. They run away from it because they don't like to sell. And the great thing I like about this is we don't sell. You know, you send people to the system, you pay attention to the videos, you get all the information you need, you make a decision, you get in, you pay $25, and you get to work. So, and then you stay plugged in, and depending on how you want to grow your income, there's other products and services that you can get involved in and learn as you grow, and then move to the next level that you want to get to. Some people may only want to make $500 a month, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month, but it's all there, and it's all in this. The system does everything for you, so you can focus on what you need to do, and that is to get sales.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know what? And that's what I saw too. You know, I saw more or less. You know, to just continue to move up and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And that's what everything with, it's almost the same way like I talked about earlier with traffic for a website. You know, and your guy spoke on that too, because I always, because I was in Primerica too, and I did very well. And that was my first foray into financial services. And, you know, and I remember reading this book called Copycat Marketing 101. By Burke Hedges. Mm-hmm. It's out of print. You got to find it almost now, right? That was an Amway book. That was one of the book of the months. And in there, I tell people you can read the whole book in like an hour, but it's 2 pages in that book that if you read those 2 pages, just like I think page 36 or 38 about Think and Grow Rich, about setting goals and this, that, and the other, how to set goals. But in those 2 pages, Burke Hedges talked about exponential growth versus linear growth. Most people in America, they count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mm-hmm. Same 10, but if I go 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, mm-hmm. You know, now I'm already valued with 5. And that's how business grows. And one of the things that my vice president of Primerica always say was, you guys are business owners. You can't always roll the whole system like you're going to teach your customers to a certain extent, because they're going to remain as customers. They don't, unless they want to come into the business side of things. So he always talked about maintaining liquidity. So not paying off your bills, you know, and doing the same things that you're teaching, because it's going to be a time when where you might be making a couple $100 a month now, but in a year from now you'll be making $20,000 a month. Mm-hmm. You know, so now you can just go bam, bam, let me pay this off, because, you know, and those are I'm not afraid of network marketing or anything like that. And then I got people that be like, oh, it's just another MLM, this is a scam, it's a pyramid. And I always try to tell them, no, your job is and I'm not involved with not nan one right now, multi-level marketing company or anything, but I believe in them. I got a video on YouTube about network marketing and how we can help these companies and people like yourself. You know, I tell them, bring your networks into Black Folk Hotspots. They create profiles. We're going to share that stuff because I believe that the more people, like, you know, when you see network marketing, when you seen Empower, you saw a lot of it at the beginning. When you saw, you know, the what was the little skinny, the things that people would put on
the artist,
yeah.
the corset, like
a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I said, and that's what you need, because what you want to create is you want to look at people like to follow crowds. And leaving on that, my VP, he said, because I used to always say, Daryl, you know, I would have a question for him, right? And he would always keep walking. And I'm like, man, why? Can you stop and talk to me? And he would say, he said, have you realized I never stopped to just talk? I kept walking. And what did you do? You followed to ask questions. And even if it was going to get a drink of water, this and the other, he said, listen, people like to follow people that are on the move. People don't like to follow people that are standing still. You know, and I tell people all the time, like, I'm telling you, we have moved, we've had setbacks with Black Folk Hotspots, we've grown. I'm gonna wrap this up. I want people to know, create the profile, because what we're gonna do is introduce their network. If you choose to you know, upgrade your membership to our awesome membership, I think your guy stole that from me too. No. But you know, if you choose to upgrade, then you can post your events and this and the other, and we share those and we keep those in rotation with our network, so more and more people start to see. And we got our own little system that we have, and our system works. I had to shut down. I can almost tell. Sometimes I just want to delete people and just like, you know what, I'm dealing with you. You know, I already know that I'm gonna have problems. I'm gonna have to worry about Facebook. I'm gonna have to worry about Twitter. You're gonna be like over there bashing me. But then I said something. Keep bashing me. Because you know what? As long as you're talking about me, as long as you're talking about Black Folk Hotspots, what's going to happen is you're going to have a select group of people say, I didn't have that experience. You know, and as Black people,
well, so far my experience, I've only been here a week, and I'm already here talking to you. So,
well, you know what? I used to do the blog talk radios, and it got too much. And I said, you know, I'm gonna start doing these hangouts, and I've been saying this. Oh, I've been saying I was gonna do hangouts since I was a Google Hangout beta tester. Right back then, I knew how to work it ins and out, and then I said, I'm gonna do it. And then the one thing, and I'm sure that you know this, and we'll wrap this up, is the one thing was I had to do, and I had to go back and learn. I set a date, and I said I'm gonna do it. So what I did is I created the event, and I said now I gotta do it because now it's shared. People are gonna be expecting it.
Do you have, you know how many followers do you have in this area, Tennessee or Nashville? We
got a nice little bit. And I was in Tennessee for a couple of weeks, and you know, I went to a lot of different things. Like your guy Jason, the Tennessee Tribune. You know, I didn't want to bump heads with Jason because Jason was running a lot of the stuff with Tennessee Tribune. But when I went down there, the big guy was like, dude, tell me more about this stuff. And I was like, no, just talk to Jason. And I would tell Jason, if he got questions that you don't understand, come to me. Because I don't want your clients. I want you. You know what I mean? But anyway, thanks, Rhonda. We're going to do this tomorrow.
But tomorrow, if we can come back tomorrow, you gave some great tips. So let's give some, I would like to share some more value about how they could really dig into taking their business into a blogging platform, because you talked about it. Whenever somebody need an answer, what do? If you want to know how to do something, where do you go find answers? You go online and you Google it, and you either on YouTube or you're going to end up on somebody's blog.
Because tomorrow I'm going to talk about videos, because videos is huge too.
Yeah, and
anyway,
let's talk about that.
And blogging too, because that's vlogging with a V.
Yeah.
Anyway, have your meeting. Great success. We'll talk soon. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in, for watching, going through all our technical glitches. We finally got it worked out to as best as we could. So I really, really, really appreciate you guys. Black Folk Hotspots. Go create your profiles. Let us introduce your business. Let's share some knowledge. Let's grow some businesses. Peace.